Hey guys, Fazzy back here, and in today's video we actually have a trade to discuss, as David Jiricek has been traded to the Minnesota Wild. Sorry for the delays on this video, but with us putting out a roster update here this past Saturday, really didn't want that video to get bogged down or anything, so wanted to wait a couple of days before I discuss this. So, Jiricek is a member of the Minnesota Wild now. Let's go take a look at it in NHL 25. So yeah, just absolutely huge trade going down this weekend. I see a lot of draft picks going back to Columbus, and of course, the big piece in this trade, David Jiricek heading over to Minnesota. Medium elite, 80 overall, just never really got his fair shot in Columbus. I think a lot of people were kind of confused with how they were using him. He's a 6'4" defender, he has some offensive flair, and for whatever reason, they just never really gave him a chance. And I will say this trade did make it into the roster update, so if you guys are on Xbox, definitely do check that out. This trade is included in game. But yeah, Jiricek, 47 games. I know he played a couple this year, but really getting limited time on ice. Just wasn't a great fit for whatever reason. Just didn't get along with the coach, I'm not sure. In exchange for Daemon Hunt, he is an okay defensive prospect himself, former third-round pick. Has limited NHL experience last season, playing 12 games. And outside of that, he's done, alright in the AHL. I think overall he's probably just going to be a top 6 defender of the future, not much outside of that. But Columbus will also get a 2025 first, 2027 second, and 2026 third and fourth round picks in this trade. So honestly, it's hard to say. I'm not sure if this is going to end up going through. Value is on our side by quite a bit. But with this game and how it values medium elite players, I honestly don't know if this is going to go through in game. But Columbus, what do you say? Trade accepted. Wow, I actually wasn't expecting that. So I'll go put together the lines for Minnesota, and then we'll take a look at what both teams are looking like. So first off, looking at the Minnesota Wild, obviously nothing here in the forward core will change whatsoever. Top pairing, I still have Brodin and Faber. Obviously just a great defensive pairing there. Faber really is showing he is the real deal there. And with Jiricek coming in behind him, both these guys being very young, that's going to be an amazing blue line in the future. And of course, you still have Jared Spurgeon there. You have Middleton, who is a great defensive defenseman, really good shot blocker. Merrill there, you can kind of fill in that last defensive spot. So for now, I have Jiricek on the bottom pair, but he could definitely move around this lineup. So now let's go take a look at the Blue Jackets. So again, won't be any changes in the forward core here whatsoever. Defensively, it looks like the AI actually unfortunately do have Daemon Hunt scratched. Not too surprising. Pretty solid defensive core still in Columbus. Obviously, Hunt's probably going to be a bottom 6 player bottom 6 defender of the future for that team. Can maybe swap him with Johnson at points in the year. But overall, what do I think of this trade here in closing? And honestly, I think it is a slam dunk win here for the Minnesota Wild. Again, we don't know what Jiricek really is going to be able to do full-time here at the NHL level. Obviously, we think he's going to be amazing. He was a former 6th overall pick. He has all the upside in the world. But until you actually play that way and you prove yourself, it is hard to say. I will say this, I think Minnesota is going to be so stacked on the blue line here in the coming years. Obviously, Faber, Jiricek. You still have AZ Buem, who is unsigned. That guy will bring a very good offensive flair and offensive game to Minnesota here in the future. So you have a lot of good young guys coming up. You also have a Carson Lambos. You have a lot of good young defenders in Minnesota, and I think the blue line is going to be set for years to come. For Columbus, again, it's kind of a confusing one. You think you could almost get a little bit more. Like, the first is nice, but likely it's going to be a later first, as it looks like Minnesota will probably end up making the playoffs this year. Sure, you get some other depth draft picks, but they are years down the road. And Daemon Hunt, like I said, he'll play some games for you, but is the upside there like a David Jiricek? Definitely probably not. So I guess they got some value back, and I guess we'll have to see how this works out long term for the Blue Jackets. But I think that is going to do it for today's video, looking at the David Jiricek trade here in NHL 25. And definitely let me know down in the comments, who do you guys think won this trade and why? But yeah, that will do it for today's quick video. I will see you all in the next one.